Yo, what's up, guys? Boy Benny. We've all witnessed some very ugly breakups between friends, and the thing that you hope for the very most is that everyone can remain friends, right? That not everything gets burned to ashes and becomes super ugly and everyone starts fighting over the kids, you know what I mean? And that is exactly what is happening right now with Candace and the Daily Wire. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I've been a part of the sort of conservative media ecosystems for the better part of the last 2 decades, and you've seen some ugly breakups, right? Bill O'Reilly, Fox News comes to mind. Tucker Carlson, Fox News comes to mind. Glenn Beck, Fox News comes to mind, and so on. Generally, the dust settles and people just go their own separate ways. But we are witnessing something with Candace Owens that we've never seen before. And I'm just going to lay out all of the evidence right now, but there have been some massive, massive updates and progression and acceleration in the corporate espionage and spying on Candace Owens. And then also the revenge and vengeance against people who support Candace Owens at the Daily Wire. I've never seen anything like it. I have never in my life seen anything like it. Okay, let's jump right in. From this weekend, Turning Point USA had their women's conference. It's an awesome conference. Candace Owens spoke at it. Young Women's Leadership is what it's called. It was in San Antonio, Texas. Thousands of young women there. Great audience, great crowd. I've spoken at this thing many times before, and Candace Owens was bringing the fire this last speech, and she's under a gag order that is court enforced. So there's only so much Candace Owens can say about specific topics, but Candace Owens ended her speech with like a nuclear bomb, saying effectively that a Daily Wire employee had been sent there to pose as a student and to spy on her and to secretly record her. Ladies and gentlemen, Candace Owens calls out Ben Shapiro's shady tactics at Turning Point's Young Women's Leadership. She tells him to meet her in Detroit for an actual debate that they agreed upon. Here we go, baby. Here's what Candace alleges, and then she brings the receipts.
The last thing that I am going to say, strangely, this is such a crazy story, but as I was headed in here, I got a frantic call from somebody. They did. They called me and they said, Candace, something very weird is happening. The Daily Wire has sent somebody secretly to record you, an intern, a PR intern, to secretly record you, to catch you in a bad moment, in a bad light. And I think that intern's name, no, to be fair, it is never the fault of a person when their employer is sending them to do something that isn't good, but I would really love it if Ariana stood up.
Wow. Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's a little too intimidating for you, too, but apparently she got an email at 10 p.m., hopped on a plane, is pretending to be a student. And so I do just want to say to Ben Shapiro.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Enough.
Yeah.
Come out into the light. Really, come on. Let's do this debate. Stop sending interns to do your dirty work.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Here we go.
I don't bite. I'm down for the debate. Charlie Kirk says he will fly you out. He will fly you out next week to Detroit, and we can do the debate on his stage. Thank you, Turning Point USA. Let's take some questions.
All right, here we go. What an insane moment. Okay, so what Candace Owens confirms there is that she knows the name and the person who is working in PR for the Daily Wire who's tracking her. It's called a tracker. This is actually quite common in the political space. You have somebody who follows you around with a camera. So let's say you're a candidate and you're running in a really contested race, and there's going to be typically a young person who follows you around with a camera and who's recording you at all times. It's super creepy, but it's not illegal, and they're hoping to catch you in a bad moment so that they can use it to hurt you. Now, this is commonplace in those environments, and I think unfortunately so, because it's really creepy. But now they're using those same tactics against Candace Owens, the Daily Wire is. Check this out. So Candace Owens responds. This is the only time that she's responded to this allegation here from, that she made on stage. Utterly bizarre, but true, Candace says. Confirmed with Turning Point. Her name is Karina, and she's a PR intern who received a last-minute phone call last night plus a threat to tell nobody that she was being sent. Went on a first flight this morning. Turning Point clocked her in as she checked in, meaning Turning Point effectively put a mark on her and said, this is really strange, this person. And as somebody who's worked with Turning Point before, during and through a ton of events, they do this, whenever there's Antifa or paid outside agitators, they have really good internal systems at Turning Point to make sure that those people aren't rabble-rousing and causing problems and disrupting and potentially threatening, right, the speakers. So grateful so many Christians were looking out for me and put this on alert. Weird stuff, she says. So so apparently this has been internally confirmed by Turning Point. The response to this has been just super creepy. People saying what's Daily Wire doing, spying on their former employees? What's going on here? This is just crazy. And then asked directly during the Q&A if Ben Shapiro ever censored her, Candace Owens said what she's legally required to say.
Cool seeing you in person. I'm such a huge fan.
You're very sweet.
So my question is, after being let go from the Daily Wire and being able to speak firsthand, do you think that the Daily Wire is complicit in censorship of certain people/topics similar to that of left-wing institutions?
I cannot talk about that. Thanks, everyone.
Oh man, oh baby, it's getting ugly, and it started. I mean, again, we have to play the physical evidence. This started with Ben Shapiro. It started with Ben Shapiro, and there's no unbaking that cake. You know what I mean? It started with Ben Shapiro. Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, right? It just is what it is. Ben Shapiro got up on a table and very proudly attacked Candace Owens while she was working at the Daily Wire, calling her a pseudo-intellectual and saying that she's disreputable and disgraceful.
The question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt.
He gets applauded, right? I don't know where he is here.
Yeah, and she still works for my company. And I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
So they're disreputable. She works for my company, he says there. Nobody has ever denied that video isn't real. So it's really Ben Shapiro at what seems like a party, right? Or some type of gathering where he hops up on stage, and I don't know if he'd had a couple glasses of wine. What? I don't know. But he went in hard against Candace and sort of lit the spark that started this war and eventually led to Candace's firing from the Daily Wire and the ugly spiral that we now find ourselves in. It gets worse. Here we go. This from this weekend, Cassandra McDonald. Daily Wire employee fired for sending supportive message to Candace Owens from his personal email account. The employee, Sawyer Brandt, says that he left his personal email account logged in from his work computer and that the company went through his work computer and then cited his communication with Owens for grounds to fire him. Here we go. Daily Wire employee fired for sending supportive message to Candace Owens. Sawyer Brandt says that he left his email logged in, and Owens was fired from the Daily Wire for allegedly declaring that Christ is king. The company deemed that anti-Semitic. The breakup war was far from clean, and the Daily Wire being accused of planting negative stories about Owens in the media. We'll cover that in just a moment. Owens addressed the controversy on a live stream on X. Again, we'll cover that in a moment, and we'll play you this. This is the Give, Send, Go, just really quickly here, of Sawyer Brandt. Help Sawyer fired for supporting Candace Owens. My name is Sawyer Brandt. I was recently terminated from the Daily Wire for this is his Give, Send, Go, right? So this is he's getting a little bit of wants a little bit of extra cash, and it looks like he's raised what he needed to raise here. Wanted some extra cash as he's between jobs. I do not have a lot of extra funds, and I'm seeking some help while I'm transitioning to a new job. What happened to him? My work was pleasant and going fine until I stood up for the character of one of my friends and former superiors, Candace Owens. The Daily Wire did not like this and terminated me on Friday, May 31st, without warning. I was fired for sending Candace a personal email and moral support when the Daily Mail accused her of abusing her former team. I said nothing negative about the Daily Wire in my email to her, In my meeting with HR, they notified me that they were able to access my private email correspondence because although I sent the communication from my personal email address, my personal device, I was accidentally left my computer email logged into one of their computers. What? I mean, that seems on its like prima facie abusive of somebody's privacy, right? Like, right? So you're effectively hacking into his private email to search his messages to see what he's saying about Candace Owens or you or his mom. I mean, geez, guys. Breaking: the Daily Wire has offered fired employees $3,000 to sign a gag order so they won't expose the Daily Wire's lies about real Candace Owens. Anonymous sources told me that they've lost at least 25 people lately who are going to places like Tucker Carlson and PBD, Dave Ramsey, all while last night at Turning Point, Candace exposed the Daily Wire sent an intern to pose as a student to get compromising material about her. This is crazy, man. So now they're making people sign, they're paying people to sign expensive NDAs. Now, Candace Owens has been posting a lot about the people who support her, and we're going to cover all of this in just a second. The reason why Candace Owens is posting stuff like this is that Candace Owens, and I like, let me begin by saying I've worked with Candace Owens a lot in the past. I've been on her show. I've been on her Daily Wire show. I've been close with Candace for a long time, and I know a ton of people at the Daily Wire. Nothing I say is in personal animus. I'm just calling balls and strikes here. And nor am I being paid to or being pressured upon by anybody to lie for anyone. All right? I will never, ever do that, okay? Ever do that. You'll never find my name on one of those FEC filings as like somebody who's paid by a political campaign or paid by an agency to say something or do something. I find that disreputable, okay? So let me just clear the air here. Never will you find my name on any of those lists, okay? Nobody pays me anything. I will never accept, it's not like people don't offer in this dirty industry. I will never accept a single penny for somebody to like manipulate my opinion or get me to lie or to tell half-truths. So this is just the straight dish from me, as somebody who's known Candace for a very long time, known a bunch of people at Daily Wire for a very long time. I've only ever witnessed Candace being a exceptional person and being somebody who is above board, actually. Kind, gracious, and generous, and somebody who is thoughtful about the people around her and is quick to encourage and not to tear down. She's a good person. That's been my experience working with Candace. She's a good person. And all of her employees are up here now saying the same thing, right? And you can go check this thread for yourself. I'm not going to read through every single message, but there's just like message after message after message that Candace Owens posts from people that have worked with her that are saying that she is a great and wonderful person, right? And that people are lying. These attacks on you, so apparently this is from the C-suite at the Daily Wire, these attacks on you are calculated, manipulative, and disgusting attempt at character assassination, slander, and deformation. I can attest that in the height of the most stressful time, starting a new show, just weeks after you had a baby, you showed up every meeting, worked 12-hour days, listened to the staff and the PAs, and were fully engaged in creative collaboration. You cared so much about our 70-plus crew, man, 70-plus crew, goodness gracious, that you even asked for full contact details to write personal thank you notes. So I've worked in Hollywood my entire career. Joining your show has been a I have seen abusive sets. They're talking about Hollywood. Your show has been fun, exciting, adventure, and the crew will fondly reminisce about this date. So anyway, the reason why Candace is posting those kind of things is that earlier in the week, Candace Owens went up with effectively a smear campaign, talking about a smear campaign against her, where the Daily Wire presumably is organizing like a bunch of smears about her in the press and in the media. And so this was a Twitter live, and it's got millions of views. And she said, you know, enough is enough. They're coming for me and trying to like launder fake stories about me from inside the Daily Wire. And so Candace Owens is pushing back on that and doing so in such a strong way from Alex Jones, Dennis Prager, Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, Andrew Tristan Tate, Charlamagne the God. I have worked with people from all over the political spectrum. Never in my life have I ever been accused of mistreating staff, ever. I invite any and all of these people to speak out against how I treat people. It is such disrespect to the legacy of my grandfather and every small job that he had to ever suggest that I would ever treat an employee badly because of their rank. Any person who has ever worked with me in my full permission has full permission to speak out. This is truly an outrage. I have prayed every single night for patience and discernment to remove vengeance from my heart in ways that I have been wrong. I will continue those prayers, and I ask for others to pray for me as I simply move on with my life, says Candace. So there we go. You know, Candace getting a lot of support here. 3,000 retweets, 22,000 likes, and Candace Owens going live for 8 minutes talking about the smear jobs against her that are being laundered in the press right now. Again, I encourage you to go watch this. I encourage you to look at all the evidence for yourself. I can tell you, as somebody who's spent in this business for a long time, I've never seen anything like this. This seems like next level operation to silence Candace Owens and her supporters from within the Daily Wire and without. And you draw the line for me. You draw the line when I draw the line. People can have personal disagreements. When everybody starts running to the media to try and do character assassination, that's the end line for me. That's it. So if this article comes out and if this proves to be true, then that's the end line for me. I'm going to officially start taking sides here, because that is the most repulsive possible treatment of somebody who is, by every measure, simply trying to make this place a good country to raise children in, and who's speaking out for her faith, saying Christ is king, because Christ is king, and that I will truly go scorched earth on that. That is such sick behavior. It is deeply immoral. And it's a tactic. I mean, you saw it all the time in the Trump administration, right? You continue to see it, right, every single day. Conservatives turn on conservatives to the benefit of the left to give left-wing media the opportunity to attack the conservative movement. And they give them the daggers and the weapons to attack us all with out of their own personal, vengeful, wicked energy. And I draw the line out. That I draw the line out. Be adults, deal with things like adults, like men, okay? And if you have differences with somebody, well, sometimes you just got to dust it up and walk away. All right? Don't we have bigger things, bigger issues to deal with right now? Shouldn't that be the point? Yeah, that's the point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay based, and Christ is king.